and welcome back to the channel. Foo. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you like videos like this.
What's going on here? I am not fast forwarding this. It just needs to go a little faster. Thank you.
Is in fact a mannequin. Boom. Look at the fingers. Look at the fingers. See, it's not a real person. That's not a real person. That's not a real person. Look at the fingers, dog. Nobody's finger stretches like that. Don't do that. Yeah, no. Not a real person.
Be returning back to Newark because we have one passenger that seems to be making a funny joke that isn't so funny, and it's going to be compromising the safety of this flight. The federal agents will be coming on board, and they will be doing a search for the person that thought that this was funny.
Hey, Raptor, you guys know what happened with that, what is that, a 7-6 on the left?
There's a security detail out there. Someone had a Bluetooth speaker and they named it a certain 4-letter word, so they have to inspect the whole aircraft, including the cargo area, that passengers have to evacuate.
That's crazy.
Who else finds it strange Barron Trump doesn't talk? The only thing I have heard from him ever is...
I like my suitcase.
What the f is happening at this house, dude? He's just standing there. What the f? What the f?
People found in the Jeffrey Epstein files the predictions for every NBA Finals up to 2026.
No.
Yeah. If this is true, this is the NBA champions from 2019 to 2026.
Okay.
So obviously 2019 was Raptors, 2020 Lakers,
Yeah.
goes Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets, Celtics. Last year was OKC.
Okay. Who is it
And
again this year? 2026.
This year,
Jeffrey
2026, according to the Jeffrey Epstein files,
Yeah.
the winner of the NBA Finals will be the New York Knicks.
No, no way. No, if that comes true.
Bing bong.
Have you seen the memes? It's like if New York Knicks have, and then it blow the whole thing.
So what were the 9?
They're a group of entities that are overseeing the universe.
Aliens are like divine spirits.
More like divine spirits. They're more of like an intelligence that can be contacted through this method of trance, and they communicate through certain people. But I think the big question obviously is like, why in a research lab being financed by multiple intelligence agencies is all of a sudden a psychic making contact with this group of intelligent beings? And why are there all these very, very high society people involved? Is there some bigger plan? Is there some bigger idea here? Is this psychological warfare?
Another thing that I've been noticing, it's not just oddities in the skies. The shadows haven't looked right, especially on trees. You take a look at this. So at first, it looks like a normal shadow, a tree, right? Nighttime. But do you see that pixelization? Look at over here. It almost looks like bad rendering. There's like some normal shadows of the trees, but when you get closer to any of them, that's not normal. I mean, just look at it. It's like we're in a matrix or something. The leaves look normal at first, but then the closer you get to them. I mean, just look at the shadows of these trees. I especially notice it on a full moon. It is tonight, but I mean, see, it looks normal where I just walked almost, but the more closer you get. But let me know in the comments if you've noticed these odd pixelated shadows. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
طبعا اللي احنا شايفينه دلوقتي النخبة اللي بتتحكم في العالم كله، في البنوك وفي الأدوية، شركات الأدوية، شركات الأغذية، وممنوع نشوف وجوههم. عشان كده في الاحتفالات بيبقوا بالمنظر ده. ودي النخبة اللي بتتحكم في العالم، ربنا يستر علينا.
I don't know about buying these, but I just want to try them.
The Scole Experiment?
Scole, S-C-O-L-E.
Refill me in.
This is, more people should know about it because it is absolutely wild. So they did an experiment in England in the town of Scole in the 90s, okay? And in that experiment, they, you're familiar with like Stephen Greer and his CE5.
Uh-huh.
That's just another flavor of this, which back in the day during the spiritualist movement, people would have would engage in seances, right? So they systematically tried to do this in 1992 and documented and recorded everything that happened. So typically it would start with poltergeist activity. Then they would start to see or hear disembodied voices, and then they would got into a closer thing where and they would swap out people because you have to have the right number of folks around the table. And then they would eventually experience apports. So you know what an apport is? Mm-hmm. It's just when something will just materialize out of thin air, like a marble, or like when you start going into the whole cryptid.
The cryptids.
And then at some point there was like entities that they started physically seeing, and they have one on camera. Like I can't make it up. It's called Mr. Blue. Just look it up, right? And there's just like, it looks like a gray. It's just like glowing blue and just kind of on camera. Anyway, there's also a technique called quantum imaging where they're able to take somehow access these overlapping realities and take pictures around.
Oh, there it is. Does that look familiar?
Yep, that's it.
That's not creepy looking at all. Holy shit.
What ended up happening is the experiment kind of got out of control and they just stopped it. So the question is if there are entities that have kind of figured this out first, they might be poking into this reality.
Okay. He also said the government altered the frequency of music to control and influence your minds. He said it's not the government, it's the elite. This guy got started talking about some heavy stuff. Yeah. History books are false. The history they teach you in school is nothing but lies. Okay. I mean, I have to escape the system that controls the world. They want to kill me for my catalog. One day the truth will come out. I reported them, so they falsely accuse me. They want to kill me, and they will say I died because of an overdose. He said that.
I remember.
He said that.
Yep.
Okay. And then what ends up happening? So this is why. Look, if you're a Michael fan, or if you're you like musical biopics, this is actually a very, very good movie. We want to watch it. Tico gave it a 9.5. He's like, this is a very, very good movie. It's tragic what happens when you make it at that level, and there's typically a guy like him. Remember the story of Serena and Venus Williams? What they called the movie? What they call me Richard?
Yeah,
I don't know what it was called.
King Richard. Is
King
what it was
Richard.
called.
Yeah,
King
Will
Smith
Richard
played him, and then he smacked Chris Rock.
How do you?
I snuck my phone because I didn't know what the outside world was saying. And so I snuck my phone to see what people were saying. I've just been in this hospital, and I couldn't get my mind around it. I had a stroke. I'm in perfect shape. The clone shit threw me.
Yes.
When they said I was a clone, that made me flip in the hospital. That's it. These motherfuckers trying to clone me. I didn't have a stroke. So I'm sitting in the hospital bed like these, and then I saw me walk into my room. But I'm white, so I see the white me.
But he had a Caesar too, just like you?
all that, the white me.
Okay, gotcha.
And I'm like, and I'm trying to get their attention, and no one said anything. And I'm like, that's they trying to clone me. This is all the thing. And so the next morning, I was out of my bed. I was standing there like Chris Pratt in Jurassic Park. I was like, what the f-? Dave was like, what's up, Foxx? I said, what's up, Foxx? I said, I know what's up. You're trying to clone me, motherfucker, a white clone. And I know why you're trying to clone me. You make me white.
You notice that there are stores that are open in your city or your town and you never see anybody in them? How do they stay open? Like, you never see anybody in them. It's like they're open just like this is part of a map of a game or something like that, but you don't never see any activity. Or you see a place that's in a storefront that you know is way too expensive for what they got going on, but yet they're still open. I don't understand that. Like, it feels like this is just orchestrated. Like, it's there for me to just render while I walk past it, but it serves no real purpose. There's no real commerce. It doesn't add up. Like, you can go and look at the rent, and the rent is worth way more than whatever they could ever take in, but yet they're still open. Am I the only one that's noticing that, or am I tripping? Am I tripping right now? Because I think that I'm noticing these things more and more, and they just don't add up. They just don't make sense, especially where they're at. You can look and be like, just the real estate value of it, it's like, you're not making that much money to be open. And the products in there are useless. Am I the only one? Am I tripping? Let me know.
I swear, it wasn't there at first.
Prove there's a dome on your flat earth. This is where people say, could prove there's a dome. And I'm like, are you breathing air? Well, air needs to be contained. Air needs to be contained. But then they throw in gravity and atmospheric density. And then, they say gravity. I say, which gravity? The Einsteinian or Newtonian? They don't even know. And, and then they'll say, Einsteinian gravity, the bending and warping of space-time. And I'm like, do you know what that is? Nobody knows what it is because it isn't anything. It's the bending and warping of your mind. So here we have some balloons with just a little bit of air in them, and we put them in a shrink wrap, and we put it in a vacuum chamber. At the same time, over here on the right, we have the only time NASA put an astronaut in a vacuum chamber. And when you evacuate the air, the balloons just blow up. The astronaut almost dies, and they've never done it again. So you can't have air pressure without a container for the air to push off of. This is a shot, especially from the International Fake Station, and these guys with their snowboarding suits on would really look like this if they were in a space vacuum. Actually, they wouldn't look that. They would explode. They would just explode. But that's the least. There's a video where the guy's sticking his arm in a vacuum chamber in a glove, and when they evacuated it, it comes so stiff he couldn't move his arm at all. So, space is fake. So there's a big controversy on, buoyancy and density, sort everything else out. But, if I drop this microphone, it's going to fall because it's heavier than the air around it. But
Chick-fil-A has now become the latest restaurant that has a lot of explaining to do. And why do I say that? Because a woman, while on her lunch break, stopped in at a Chick-fil-A to get herself a chicken sandwich. Just something simple, a bite to eat, so to speak, for lunch. She noticed when she bit into the chicken, the texture was kind of off. And the chicken is now being labeled by many as spaghetti meat. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look at this video for yourself. Check it out.
I was really giving Chick-fil-A another chance, but their texture has been disgusting. I took the first bite and I couldn't even get the fucking chicken apart.
Oh my God.
Just have a look at that right there. Does that look normal to you? And that's the term right there that people are now labeling a lot of fast food products as spaghetti meat. Just take a look at that separation right there. It's all gooey and gluey. It's just gross. So I guess my question to you is, when was the last time you visited a Chick-fil-A? Did you have any concerns about the quality of the meat? Did you come across exactly what this young lady did? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
Ramada Inn, Boise, Idaho. It's a hotel room, pretty normal. 2 beds. We got this, but wait, what's this? What does this come out to? It comes out to a living room and a house and a motorcycle, a golf cart, and that's a whole pool. And this is what's outside the room. I've never seen anything like this. This is amazing.
On social media, you've been seeing a lot of people talking about the NBA is rigged. And the reason that is because when it comes to professional sports, it has to follow the algorithm timeline of eschatology, which is the science of the end times. So when you break down the etymology of Wembanyama's name and you look at the prefix of his last name, Wemb, it's equated to womb, which is creation. So that means that the creation in itself is a divine feminine energy that interfaces with the spur. Because what is a spur? A spur is a device that basically communicates with a horse. The horse of revelation that has to cast judgment on the Knicks, which is basically the personification of New York City, which is basically modern day Babylon, where they have the Statue of Liberty or the Statue of Lucifer. But with all that shit being said, when you have an intuitive understanding about signs and symbols, theological context, and prophetic divination, you would know who's gonna win these fucking games, because the great majority of everything in professional sports has to follow the script of theological context. It has to follow the script of the Bible, because the Bible is a what? A Freemasonic playbook. They have to tell you in the form of entertainment.
In Japan, you can actually sue a snack company if the piece of cheese on the package is even 2 millimeters bigger than the real thing. They are that strict. Japan's false advertising laws don't allow any kind of misleading packaging. If a noodle cup shows a giant shrimp covering half the bowl, then the shrimp inside has to match that size 1-to-1. Manufacturers even do real photo shoots of the actual food instead of drawing idealized pictures. Cadbury once had to recall an entire batch of chocolate because the cocoa beans on the wrapper were printed in the wrong order. Follow to learn something new every day.
Wow! Dites avec moi WAP s'il vous plaît.
Free reset. He just started a new life.
The Russians have earthquake weapons. They can cause an earthquake at Yellowstone that'll wipe out the center U.S. If they cause an earthquake on La Palma Island that's strong enough, the side of that volcano is already split off 5 feet. If it falls into the ocean, it's facing the U.S. If it falls into the ocean, 15 cubic kilometers of land will hit the ocean all at once. And the U.S. Geological Service has predicted that that would cause a tsunami that in some places would wipe out up to 26 miles inland on the east U.S. coast. And that's already known by the U.S. Geological Service.
Yeah, I came to the restroom to poop. Then I seen this. Fucking lion. What's up, bro? I was just trying to poop.
So it's been reported from multiple sources that 23andMe, the company used to take your DNA and tell you what ancestor you come from, was secretly being used by the government to find out if you were an alien hybrid. At this point, I'm wondering if these aliens the government is referring to are just normal humans among us that don't realize they may have strange or unique DNA. Let me explain that. The whistleblower who started this whole alien DNA and 23andMe conspiracy is allegedly an ex-CIA operative, and according to him, he worked in the sector that dealt with people who exhibited supernatural-like abilities, including telekinesis, psychic, mind reading, all of that above. Connecting what this whistleblower is claiming with the material he used to work with, I'm starting to wonder if there will be an attempt in the near future to convince the general population that anyone exhibiting supernatural abilities is actually an alien or has alien DNA. I mean, imagine going your whole life having an above average intuition, or maybe a strong sense of pattern recognition, or even having intense dreams that eventually come true, only to one day be told that you are an alien or have alien DNA. Leave a like and let me know what you think.
64 million mosquitoes are set to be released across California and Florida. And you might be surprised to hear who is behind this. Google, of all companies, has applied for a permit to introduce a new population of mosquitoes into the wild in order to wipe out the disease-ridden population. Well, the US about to have a mosquito civil war on their hands. Now, at first, this sounds absolutely insane, right? But Google thinks this is a good idea because these mosquitoes in particular have two secret weapons. The first being that they're all male, and fun fact, males don't bite humans, so they can't spread disease further. That also does kind of mean that the civil war is going to be male versus female to make things even crazier. And secondly, these mosquitoes will carry a naturally occurring bacteria called Wolbachia, which essentially makes them sterile and unable to reproduce with the female mosquitoes. Damn, they really got the bros locked in on this battle. So the idea is that over time, the species responsible for spreading deadly diseases like dengue fever, Zika virus, and other West Nile viruses could be dramatically reduced without the need for toxic pesticides. But I know you're probably wondering, Google? Why is my search engine now starting mosquito civil wars? Well, in short, the answer is because they are one of the only companies in the world to have the budget, the ability, and the technology to pull off something like this. And of course, money spent on health takes up about 10% of global GDP. That's about $10 trillion a year. So if Google's technology can reduce global health costs, save lives, while also getting themselves into a big new market, well, sure, that's part of it too. But what do you guys think? Will the public trust a company like Google with an endeavor like this or not?
There are people that's already walking around with that Neuralink chip. You know, the chip that Elon Musk wanted to put in your head? There's a guy online that said ever since he got that chip in his head, things have been different. He said that he's tapped into a system. He said that he can move a mouse with his mind. He said that things that he couldn't do before, he could do. You don't believe me, right? Look at this shit.
Do you have any
I
side
want y'all to
effects?
be the judge of this.
No, I don't have any side effects. Do you have any I don't have any.
Can you feel it?
I can't feel it.
My name? It's not too important. What I'm about to tell you is extremely important.
Look.
I'm one of the first people to get a Neuralink implant
Look at the
in my skull. If you guys can see and don't really know what a Neuralink is, it's kind of like an electronic chip from Elon Musk embedded in your skull. At first it was kind of like a Fitbit, kept track of vital signs, stuff that was going on in my body. Eventually it's gotten to a point where I can move a mouse without even touching a computer. I can connect, I can download, I can transfer information. I'm not the only person that has one of these now.
You heard what he just said? He said he's not the only person that has that chip. And he has another video that's on his page. Now that, I don't know if it's AI. Maybe it is, and maybe it's not. But I want you to look at it and see how he was moving. And
That's the new Mercedes Beluga 500 series.
All right, we're going to the African room now. Oh, what is this?
Look, I have
Oh my.
all the mask there. My daughter put it up so you can see. Even here, look.
Oh my God.
Some are
Please help me.
bronze, some are.
God. God, this. Oh my God. What is this?
And there are still in the boxes, some. Because from.
Oh my God, the whole tribe is in here. Oh my God. Oh my God. What is this?
Those are nice ones there.
Wow. I had never ever seen a collection like this before. What? Oh my God. I have no words here. This is insane. This is the biggest selection I've ever seen in my life, I think. Oh my God.
Even there's so many nice things there.
Oh my gosh. What is going on here, ladies and gentlemen? This is what 50 years does to you in this business. Oh my God, there's so much.
Swear, bro, I be seeing anything over here, bro. This is not yo, it's a simulation, brother. No.
What happens if you take your DNA and you get it tested? Does the CIA come in and hunt for aliens? This video is for entertainment purposes only. So this story is now rolling out through the internet that allegedly one of the major companies that does DNA testing and tells you your ancestry, allegedly the CIA is looking at the data and looking for hybrid entities. Okay, let's walk through it. We know it'll be like the days of Noah. In my opinion, what differentiates the days of Noah from any other time in history is the presence of the Nephilim. What are the Nephilim? The progeny of fallen angels and human women, creating a hybrid. Daniel 2:43. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. The word cleave is what we get for marriage. Something is going on. What was written will come to pass. What was foretold is unfolding. Prophecy is real. They are walking amongst us. I am Eli Marzulli.
Are you lost, little girl? You trying to find your mommy?
I mean, it's doable if you run fast enough.
Because what I think is, I think Steven Spielberg was approached. I think he was approached by intelligence agencies who told him disclosure is happening and we want you to get out ahead of it. Something's going to happen to our reality, to our timeline. We are going to announce that disclosure is coming, that aliens are real. Aliens, I should call them. They're real. And we've been in contact with them since 1947. I believe that they told Steven Spielberg the truth and told him, hey, We want you to make this movie as damage control, as a way to desensitize the public. So when it does happen, they can look back at the movie and be like, all right, well, we've already been thinking about this for a while now. I think that this is all a part of the whole big disclosure game that the intelligence agencies have been putting together now for a while. Because, guys, it's clear that this thing, the timing of all of this stuff is not a coincidence. It's a coordinated rollout. And whether or not Steven Spielberg knows, because I believe he knows, but maybe he doesn't know. I don't know. We're just speculating here. But whether or not he knows what's actually happening behind the scenes is kind of irrelevant, because the fact that these two things are happening simultaneously in real time really does speak for itself. And if he is aware that he's being used to, prepare the population for what's coming, well, he probably feels great, great pride in that. He feels like that's a mission for him. And he probably feels like it's one of the most important things that he's ever done.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me. Smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.